warmly welcomes you to this online national workshop on data visualization using Tableau in research. Today, we are privileged to have two esteemed resource persons with us, Dr. Shraddha Junjunwala, Chief Customer Officer at Swintista Tech Private Limited Bhopal, and Mr. Rishi Dubey, founder of Quintista Tech Private Limited Australia. Their expertise in data visualization and research applications will surely provide invaluable insights into using Tableau for effective data representation. We are excited to have you all here to embark on this journey of learning and growth together. Without further ado, I now invite the resource persons for today's session, Dr. Shraddha Junjunwala, to start with their expertise in Tableau. We welcome you, ma'am, and sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Gitanjali ma'am. So before I start this session, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for coming here and giving us the chance to share with you about our platform.
I request, dear participants, kindly mute yourself, keep yourself on mute so that our workshop will go smoothly.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Leela Siman ma'am and Geetanjali ma'am at Bhopal School of Social Sciences for giving us this opportunity. And we would try our best that we are able to share with you the best your knowledge about Tableau software, which you can utilize for research. So we are going to conduct this session keeping in mind that most of the attendees here are either the researchers or interested in some kind of research. So we would try to include that how Tableau could be utilized or how you can use Tableau for the different parts of your research. So along with me, I also have Mr. Rishi Dobe, who is the founder of Quintesta Tech. And we are one of the partners for Tableau software, and we also do the services for Tableau. So I would like to start my session here. Rishi, can you please start the slides? Is my voice clear? Can you please confirm?
Yes, ma'am. Are clearly audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am.
Okay. Rishi, can you enlarge the slides? Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about Tableau, of course, we know that we are talking about data analytics, and Tableau is a part of a business intelligence platform. So, as we know now, with modern business intelligence platforms, it makes it easier for people to explore and manage data, and also it is faster to discover and make a meaning out of the data given all of these kind of platforms that are now readily available for us. So before I talk about Tableau, I would like to speak to you a little bit about what is data analytics and the different areas where we usually look forward for doing our analysis. So as we know that data analytics is a very integral part of our research, where when we collect any kind of primary or secondary data, we want to make a meaning out of that data. And that is where it comes to us as a hustle, that how do we make the meaning out of the data that we have collected from the different sources. And we need to do a lot of cleansing of the data. We need to do the modeling of the data, which will finally help us in our decision making or concluding our researches. So that is where we have platforms like Tableau that helps us in doing all of these activities. And because it is not manual, so we get a lot of accuracy as well. Now, there are different type of analytics that we do. It could be a descriptive analytics. The descriptive analytics where we have already have some past data and we want to make trends or we want to make some meaningful insights out of that data. Then there are predictive analytics where we have certain data, but on that historical data, we want to forecast the future outcomes. And of course, then there is a predictive analytics, which provide the recommendations on our data, that on the analysis of the data that we have done in the past. So Tableau could support you in your descriptive analytics, in your predictive analytics, and in your prescriptive analytics as well. So now, what is the importance of data analytics, or why do we require the data analytics? So, of course, when we have a data, when we collect the data, the first thing that the researchers want to do is that they want to make a meaning out of that data, or they want to have a understanding of their data, which can help them in taking a decision, and hence that can help them in completing their researches. So that's where we speak about Tableau or some similar kind of platforms that makes your work easier by doing this analysis. So the data analytics, you may have to identify different kind of patterns, or if you want to have a visualization or a picture of your graphs, which makes it very easier for us to understand as well. So Tableau helps you in making all kind of picturizations and visualizations of your data. So the benefits of data analytics for researchers are, of course, it will help them in faster. They can do their research at a little faster rate, where they don't have to do all of this part manually, which may not be accurate. And then this is a data. It will give you a complete insights about your data and accuracy of your research, and it will give you a very nice visualization of all the data trends or anything that you want to look into your research. Next slide, please. So now the most challenging task that we see around is, okay, we have collected the data, but now we always struggle to make the meaning out of that data or to get the insights of that data. And we always struggle and we keep swapping from one tool to another tool to look for what we actually want to achieve. And then in this struggle, we end up wasting a lot of our time and a lot of our efforts, but we are not able to get the real insights that we are looking forward. So that's where business intelligence tools helps you in getting a bit better insights of your data, where the chances of missing out anything on your data is very less. Now, it is also very important to understand the value of these tools, or the right way, or the right way how you should use, or right way, or the utilization of these tools in the right way to get the optimum results. It is usually seen that people will have different tools and they will try to do different things on those tools, but then they say that, oh, okay, they are not getting the desired results, and that's where they again think, oh, okay, let me go back to the basics, and they will start doing it manually or on Excel. So we can see how, so that's where we say that Tableau has got capabilities that can help you in getting the right kind of results that you're seeking for. But to have that, it is also very important that you have a database. You have a database that is actually a good database, which has got insightful fields that you want to look forward. And that database you connect to Tableau, to where you get the insights in the research environment. So one of the most powerful thing about these modern business intelligence tools, which were not there earlier when we had some traditional tools, it will help you in visualization as well. And all of us know that how important visualization is nowadays. So for example, if you see something, if you see something as a picture, like if we take example of any of the big companies, when we see the logo of any company, we definitely, it's always in our mind for a longer period of time, compared to if we see something in a very which is not in a picture forms. So visualization is taking up a lot of space nowadays in corporates also, where people want to have a visualization of the reports. One more epic example that I want to give you about visualization is, if all of you, if any of you have seen this movie Drishyam, which only talks about how he just could fool everybody with the visualization of the entire thing. So visualization plays a very important role. And in Tableau, you get very nice pictures and graphs, which you can have a different type of graphs in a different colors, forms. So it helps you in understanding the data in a much more easier way. So um, uh, and it also helps in your ideation, the idea that you have and the idea that you want to finally that you want to bring out. It helps you in a good ideation also of your entire research. Okay, now I would like to talk more about the product, which is Tableau, and it was founded in the year 2003. You can see the name of the founders here. So initially, I would not like to take a lot of time about discussing the founders and how this product came into the picture. But yes, just to brief about the product is that it was being originated from a research project itself at Stanford University. And it was back then also, it was only talking about improvisation of the data. And earlier, Tableau was a standalone company. But last year in 2019, Tableau has been taken over by Salesforce. And now it's actually a bigger one, bigger company. Yeah, Rishi, the slide is not visible. Rishi, slide is not visible.
Yeah, sorry, the session kicked me out because there were too many people.
Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. So it's a company now which has been acquired by Salesforce. And after Salesforce has acquired it, they have also enhanced their data visualization and some other features and functionalities. Now, when we talk about Tableau, there are many other products like Tableau that are also available in the market. To mention some of the modern BI tools, which are the leaders in the market, it could be either Microsoft Power BI or ClickView. Then there are some other products like there is an IBM product, the SAP product, etc. So that's it from my side. From here now, Rishi will take it up. Rishi, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible? Like, are you? Can you listen to me? Are you? Am I clear from the voice point of view?
Yes, yes, Rishi.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, I asked a question to keep it more engaging. आप लोग हिंदी prefer करेंगे, English prefer करेंगे, या English prefer करेंगे? Okay, let's compromise. Let's go with English. Okay. Um, okay. So Shraddha,
Rishi, your slides are again not visible.
Murli sir is presenting. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I can
Okay.
see the slide.
Okay. Few requests because there's too many people on the invite. I'm gonna switch off my camera. अगर बाकी सब भी अपना कैमरा स्विच ऑफ करें तो बैंडविड्थ ज्यादा बेटर रहेगी. सब म्यूट पे रहें प्लीज. कोई अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर ना करे तो इंटरप्ट नहीं होगा. Okay, Abdul, I'll try to keep it as much English as possible and accommodate as many people as possible. Shraddha covered what the history before Tableau, what analytics is, why is it important stuff. Now let's talk about the platform itself. So what does Tableau platform gives us? Tableau platform is pretty much in a nutshell a presentation of your data. Before you start the presentation, there's certain things that you have to do in order for your insights to be more useful, more decision driven. Sorry, Murli, can you please mute your mic, please? Thank you. Right. So Tableau help us with, if we have data, it helps you create powerful analytics. It's a critical tool, like a lot of other critical tools these days in the market, that gives you the flexibility of connecting data in any form. Now, a lot of you would have seen CSVs, Excel, databases. There are different kind of databases. There are different kind of operational systems like Windows, Linux, Macs, and stuff. What Tableau gives you guys is it gives you the opportunity to connect to any kind of data sources. आप लोगों ने, everybody would have heard data on cloud and data on prem. Please thumbs up दिखाएं अगर कुछ लोगों ने इस बारे में सुना है. Okay. Okay, perfect. So for those who don't know, on-prem is the data that might be stored on your computer or a local server. Cloud is everything that you upload on the cloud. Your Microsoft OneDrive, your Google Drives, and all that stuff is all cloud. So what we're trying to say over here is you can connect to any kind of data source. Tableau Suite has key features. There are 3 features. One is data preparation, data visualization and analysis, and data sharing. It's a very simple concept कि आप data को prepare करेंगे, फिर आप उसको visualize और analyze करेंगे कि आपके end user को fit हो, and then you will share it with the end user. All right. I'll repeat that in English. You'll prepare the data, you will visualize and analyze the data so that it fits your end user's need, and then you will share the result with the end users. Okay. For preparation of data, there's something called Tableau Prep that helps you to get the data. It could be any format. It could be Excel, it could be CSV, and then you can break it, divide it in however format you want. Then there's data visualization and analyzation. That is done through 2 products in Tableau, which are called Tableau Desktop and Tableau Public. In this particular session, we'll cover Tableau Public. And then sharing, there are multiple ways you can share it. You can share it using Tableau Online. You can host it on a server. You can pass it on to another user as a read. And then there's mobile, which gives you the functionality of viewing the reports using mobile. Okay, Tableau Prep. What is that? It is a tool within Tableau ecosystem designed to help user prepare and clean the data. Now, before we jump on what Tableau Prepare is, I would like to mention that Tableau preparing the data is very, very, very important. आप जब खाना बनाते हैं या खाना कहीं बाहर से ऑर्डर करते हैं, there's a recipe that follows for a good food, right? There's good ingredients. It has to follow. दाल बनाने के लिए आप सीधे दाल नहीं डालते. दाल बनाने के लिए आप सीधे दाल नहीं डालते. You boil the dal, you add the spices. Sorry, I'm not a good cook, but you get the idea what I'm saying, right? Everything has to be done in an order for the final product. So Tableau Prep Builder helps you to prep your data in the way that you can use it to visualize it. Tableau Desktop, we're not going to cover too much of it, but it's the same functionality as Tableau Online. There's a difference between Tableau Desktop gives you a bit more functionality because it's a paid product. In this particular image, we are seeing that you can get the data from multiple resources. You can chunk it out, and then you can present in any format that you want. Tableau Desktop preparation data, again, I'll put a lot of emphasis on why data preparation is very important, right? If your columns are not in the right format, a very good example is when you extract the data out, आप लोग research student हैं, आप लोग के पास research data Excel sheet में available होता है, CSV में available होता है. तो ये जो example आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे या ये photo देख रहे हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं YYYMMDD. कितने लोगों को पता है? How many people know what that means? Thumbs up, please. Perfect. Okay, so for those who don't know, YYYMMDD is the date format. YYY is the year, right? 2020. Shwetal, can you? Yeah, thank you. MM is month. 10 and date is 21. Okay. Now जब आप विजुअलाइज करते हैं डाटा तो कई बार सीएसवी में आपको बहुत अलग अलग फॉर्मेट में डाटा मिलता है. आपको मिलेगा dd mm yy, dd mm yyyy, dd dash mm yyyy. So this is a good example कि आपको अपना डाटा अच्छे से क्लीन करना पड़ेगा before you visualize it. It's very very important. Visualization, as I mentioned, every attribute categorized as dimensions or measures, drag and drop field to create visualization, powerful features to select aggregate data like hierarchy, group, set, filters. Hierarchy, dimension and measure. Tableau आपको एक अलग से एक सेक्शन देता है जो बहुत सारे जो एनालिटिक्स टूल नहीं देते. इज इट सेग्रीगेट्स द मेजर डाटा. मेजर डाटा जो होता है वो आपकी नंबर्स हो गए, एग्रीगेट्स हो गए, एवरेज हो गया, सम ऑफ नंबर हो गया, डिफरेंस ऑफ नंबर हो गया, वो सेपरेटली करता है. ठीक है. एंड द ब्यूटी अबाउट टैबलो इज, जो कि अगर आप में से किसी ने पावर बीआई देखा हो, पावर बीआई गिव्स यू, इट्स वेरी ओपन एंडेड. इट will let you drag and drop the fields and then it will let you visualize it. Tableau on the other side will not let you visualize it if until and unless the correct fields are dropped. अगर आप नंबर फील्ड नहीं डालेंगे टैबुलो में तब तक वो आपको उस टाइप के ग्राफ्स नहीं देगा जो नंबर से रिलेटेड है. फॉर एग्जांपल, आप अगर मेरा माउस देख रहे होगे तो यू विल सी ओपन डेज ऑफ एक्टिव इंसिडेंट्स ओवर हियर. You cannot create this in Tableau unless you have number fields or date fields that are attached to it. Okay, moving on. Dashboards and stories. Now, what dashboard does is, dashboard is the comprehensive look of all your reports. Now, let me explain that in an Excel sheet format. In Excel sheet, you have different tabs or different sheets. Okay. Now, what dashboard is, you're bringing all those sheets in one single view so that when you give the access, how do you mark the attendance? Probably not the right person to ask. Sorry. So, can somebody tell the person who just asked the question how to mark the attendance, please? Coming back to it, dashboard is pretty much, हिंदी में बोले तो संग्रह है आपकी रिपोर्ट्स का. आपने बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट्स बनाई हैं और आपको अगर अपने बॉस को या रिसर्च टीम को देना है तो यू विल नॉट गिव देम ऑल एवरीथिंग. यू विल ब्रिंग ऑल द डाटा इन वन लोकेशन एंड देन यू विल शो देम सो पीपल कैन व्यू इट इजीली. ओके. Until this, anybody sleepy? Everybody's with me. Please show thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, enough people awake. Tableau Public is what I would recommend you guys to start using when you're trying the Tableau product. All right, it's the free version of the desktop. Desktop is a paid version. All right, it's built for cost-effective users. When you're trying to learn, it's a very good tool to go register. As I said, it's free registration. There are certain things which are limited because it's free, but for 60% to 70% features are all open, right? You can save it in the public environment and you can share it with anybody to view it. Agar aapko, for example, aapne koi report banai and you want to get an idea from Shraddha or myself ki, is this okay? Have I created it correct? Or if I'm doing something wrong, stuff like that, you can easily share it via that. Okay. Tableau Online is basically the online access for sharing and collaboration. For example, one of you, say Murli, built a report and he wants me to work with him on that report. We can work together on a single report in Tableau Online. From a research point of view, if multiple people are doing the same research reporting and you guys have to collaborate and contribute, this is a really good way of doing that. Okay. It's very fast from delivery point of view because there's no hardware cost or time to set up. On a desktop, you have to install it. Agar aap company ka desktop use kar rahe hain, laptop use kar rahe hain, then you'll require some features to be activated in order for it to be working. Tableau Online has a new feature, which is AI-driven explanation. So if you get stuck somewhere, there is a free basic AI capability that you can ask questions that can prompt you and guide you to fix things on how to modulate the data and stuff like that. It's very interactive. You can edit the data. You can connect it with multiple data sources. You can access it from anywhere because it's cloud-based. And the data, if you are connecting to live data or secure data, not the dummy data, so it's very secure as well. Tableau server, not the right scenario to cover in this one, but pretty much if you're using Tableau for a company, for example, right? You're a company or you're working for a company and you have Tableau reports. Tableau server helps you share the data and store the data in the servers. So that somebody, for example, if you create a report in India and it's a pretty big report, you can't store it online because online has a limitation on how big the data is. Somebody has a question, Bandhan cards. Okay, we'll keep the question for the ends. So let's continue. If you want to increase the capability of data, if you have a lot of data that cannot be stored on online, remember cloud always will have a little bit of storage limitation because storage is expensive in cloud. Okay, so the servers are kept that आप उस पे ज़्यादा data different तरीके से store कर सकते हो, and even then you can connect the data using Tableau to any kind of servers. Whether it's Microsoft server, Google, Amazon, it can connect to any of those servers. Tableau Read is a free desktop application. It does not let you edit anything. It just lets you view the data. Okay. It lacks governance, security, and administration. अगर मुझे अपनी बनाई हुई रिपोर्ट मुरली को केवल दिखानी है, then I can share it on with him and he can open it using Tableau Read. He cannot edit any of my data. All he can tell me is it's looking good or it's looking bad or this data is missing and stuff like that. Okay, before we come to the question, before I jump on to the actual demo, anybody has any questions? I open the floor for 5 minutes for questions, please. Type your questions in the chat and I'll start responding back. Any point you want me to go back to on the slides and cover? कोई point जो छूट गया हो, आपकी समझ में नहीं आया हो, आप लोग चाहे तो you can put that in the chat. I'll go back. Okay, good. Okay, let's jump on to Tableau Home. Everybody can still see my screen? Okay, thumbs up. So I'll zoom in a little bit so that it's a bit more clear. So this is your Tableau Online. As I said, the registration is zero cost. And you guys can go register yourself and you can start playing with it. Before you start playing with it, I just want to give you a bit of an idea of how you would bring the data in. Keeping in mind, analytics tools are very, very, very big. You have to play with it. You have to learn it. And then you will get a bit more idea of how the data visualization works. I'll say that in Hindi as well. Data tools जो हैं वो बहुत ज़्यादा featured rich हैं. मेरा recommendation ये रहेगा कि आप लोग इसको login करें, register करें. आप लोग plain और simple data के साथ इसको सीखना शुरू करें and then start moving to जो bigger or complex data है. Okay, so there's a new section over here. We are going to create a new workbook. Workbook is basically your file. Okay, आप इसको file की तरह देख सकते हैं. Okay, आप इसको अपनी file की तरह देख सकते हैं. ये एक file है, इसमें आप बहुत सारी sheets रखेंगे. Okay. Now, as soon as you start your workbook, the first thing it will ask you to do is आप अपना data connect करें इससे. Okay, it will ask you to connect the data. Now, as you can see, it's showing you different data sources over here. This is all dummy data. Okay, you can connect your files over here, like your CSV, your Excel sheets. You can connect directly from here. There are connectors over here. Okay. गूगल क्लाउड एसक्यूएल का नाम सुना होगा, शेयर पॉइंट का नाम सुना होगा, टैबलो बहुत सारे कनेक्टर्स देता है। एंड अगर कनेक्टर्स नहीं है तो यू कैन, एज आई सेड, कनेक्टेड एज अ फाइल, और यू कैन create your own APIs, but that's very high level. Hopefully you don't have to go in there. So there's a lot of connectors over here that you can play with. We're going to go with the data that is on my side to play with. So जो डाटा मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ वो सैंपल डाटा है। सुपर स्टोर एक डाटाबेस है जो सुपर स्टोर का डाटाबेस है। मैं इसको कनेक्ट करूंगा। ओके, आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे मेरी जो टेबल्स में जो फील्ड्स हैं वो सारी लोड हो गई हैं ऑटोमेटिकली। ओके, एंड जैसा कि मैं आपको बता रहा था कि टैबलो की एक खासियत ये है कि आप साइड में देख रहे होंगे, ये आपको बता रहा है किस टाइप की फील्ड है, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ फील्ड्स दीज आर। ओके, सो दीज वंस आर योर number fields, which a lot of other tools like Power BI and stuff don't do. You have to figure out what type of data it is. Power BI, Cognos reporting में ये सारा डाटा एक साथ दिखता है, then you have to figure out कि what type of data it is. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna jump a step ahead. So over here you will see, जहां पे आप मेरा माउस देख रहे हो नीचे, यहाँ पे ये आपको अलग अलग वर्कशीट बनाने का ऑप्शन दे रहा है, और फिर ये आपको एक ऑप्शन दे रहा है डैशबोर्ड बनाने का। तो हम सबसे पहले क्या करेंगे, हम एक डैशबोर्ड क्रिएट करेंगे। ओके, और मैं फिर आपको दिखाऊंगा शीट्स कैसे उसमें लाने। तो मैंने एक डैशबोर्ड बनाया। इस डैशबोर्ड को मैं करूंगा डेमो डैशबोर्ड। डैशबोर्ड को ओके, नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट विद शीट 1। नाउ आपको यहाँ पे सारे ग्राफ्स इधर साइड में दिख जाएंगे, कौन कौन से ग्राफ अवेलेबल है डाटा विजुअलाइजेशन के लिए। ओके, so let's start with the one most common graph is map. Now, as you can see, as soon as I drop that map, it knows that I'm playing with the location. So it has given me the right one that is recommended to me. Okay, it's not giving me the graphs and stuff because it knows the data has regional values. It has locations. That's why it's not giving me that access. It's also giving me table, so I can create a table rather than using a graph because it knows that कि यहाँ पे text values हैं जो कि table में दिखाई जा सकती हैं। Graph में आपको numbers चाहिए जो कि अभी इसमें present नहीं है। There's no numbers present in that. That's why all the graphs that are related to numbers are hidden. Okay, let's go back to this one. Now, what I'm going to do right now, as you can see, my columns are longitude and latitude. Okay, that's why it's only giving me location based on what I've given central and south. Okay, I want to go further down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask it कि मुझे थोड़ा और granular data दो. And I'm going to drop that. So now see how it's giving me country, region, and it's also giving me state as well. Okay, now I want to go further down. I don't think there's any further down. Oh, okay. Look, I've further gone down and now it started giving me cities in the state as well. Okay, now let's see how it looks in a table. Now on the table, it's showing me that in the central region, the countries are Canada and United States. The states in there are Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and all the cities in there. Okay, now let's go back to this graph again. Okay, so now I have my sheet 1 ready and I'll call it I'll call my sheet 1 as map. Okay, now I'm going to create another sheet. Oh, sorry, I created another dashboard. My mistake. Now let's call this a table. Okay, so now I'm going to try to create a sheet which has table data in tables. So remember I said to create the data with graphs and tables and stuff, it's always good to use the data that has numbers. Okay, so I have order ID. Added the category, added the year of the thing. Let's add something else as well. Let's add the profit. Let's see what that gives us. There you go. Now it's given me profit of that order for the year 21 and the range of that data in there. Now I have two sheets over here. Now let's try another one and let's do a graph there. Okay. Okay, let's see. As soon as I'll drop the sales, see how it started giving me a graph option over here? Because it knows that now we are playing with numbers, right? Let's drop quantity. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, so I've created a graph that's giving me the quantity of each of my products. Okay, I can go further down. Now, based on the category of the product, now it's giving me further more description of furniture. I have bookcase, I have chairs, and then it's giving me more description of it. Let's see if we can go further down. There you go. Now I have a graph as well, and I can use different types of graph to represent the data. There's bubble graph, there's big box section, there's a standard layered graph, and then there's the most common one, which is your vertical graph. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to start creating our dashboard. So now I've created 3 sheets. Now I need to put them in my file, right? Let's start with the map. Then let's bring the table. Taking too long. Yeah, I think we got a very big data chunk set. Let's bring a graph. Okay. Now you can adjust the width and the size of your connectors or your tables over here according to how you like. You can fit more things over here when you bring the data in. You can decide how you want the layout to be. How would it look on the phone? and then you can adjust it based on the device that you're using. You can have multiple layouts. So if you want a bigger screen, you can have a bigger screen. And when you're ready, you can publish that. You can apply filters over here. So let me just show you how to apply filters. Can everybody see that the filter appeared over here? So now based on my filters, I can automatically start. If I don't want technology, I'll remove technology and the data should update automatically. And then I can do more drag and drop and stuff like that. I can create already created category. I can do one more filter over here using subcategory. As you can see, there is a subcategory filter now as well. Okay. And when you update your dashboard, if you have space, if you have aligned it properly, then it will also show your filters as well. I haven't aligned it properly. That's why it's not going to show me my filters. So let's remove this. Remove this. See how it's showing you the filters as well? So once you align things properly, it will start showing you the right filters, connectors, and stuff like that. Okay. Once you publish it, you can keep it in your default repository, or you can do a presentation project. You can start sharing the presentation with whoever you want. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for beginners for Tableau. Now, let's open for questions. Any questions? Before I show you something really good.
Geetanjali ma'am, does anybody has any questions?
No, ma'am. So far, we have not received any query here in the chat box. Participants, if you have any query, you can unmute and you can ask.
Come on, किसी को तो कोई question हो गया यार. It's a very powerful tool. Okay. Now I'm going to cover two things that will help you for the data for your Tableau preparation. Ma'am, the screen dashboard is not clearly visible as we cannot see the icons. I am not sharing anything, Namrata.
No, Rishi, I think she's talking about the live connection that you shared earlier.
Okay. Namrata, can you unmute your mic and just tell me which particular part you missed out on? Okay. Okay, Abdullah, I'll quickly share my screen again and then you can see the filters. Okay, is it clearly visible to everybody? I've zoomed in.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, Namrata.
Yeah, so actually the connection got lost in between. Now we are able to see the, when you have zoomed your screen. Otherwise,
Okay.
it was not visible on the dashboard which icons you are clicking and how the things are coming up because that screen was very minute, like not visible.
Yeah. So let's do it again. I'll quickly go through it, and I'll have to zoom
Yeah,
in and
sir.
out a little. Okay, let's do that. And Abdullah, I'll come to the filter part during the session again. Right. So let's start from the home page. I'm just gonna zoom out to go back to the home page. Okay. So on the home page, which looks something like this, to start your project, there is a section called New. Okay, this is where you'll start from. In New, you'll pick a project which is basically a folder where you will save your work that you will do. Okay. In Workbook, you'll click on Workbook, which will open a sheet like this. In there, it will ask you to connect the data source. Right. Now, in the data source, there's multiple options. I will use the dummy data that I have. You can bring your CSV files and stuff from here, Excel sheet, CSV, and there are multiple connectors over here. आप में से अगर कोई गूगल ड्राइव पे काम कर रहा हो या वन ड्राइव पे काम कर रहा हो या अज्योर सीक्वल पे काम कर रहा हो, माई सीक्वल पे काम कर रहा हो, तो डायरेक्ट कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. In this particular example, we're just going to start with Superstore data source, which is free data that is sitting with me. Okay. Now, जैसे ही मैंने डाटा को डाटा सोर्स से कनेक्ट किया, आप साइड में देख सकते हैं सारी फील्ड जो कि डाटा सोर्स में अवेलेबल है वो सारी लोड हो गई. ओके. And all the fields have some kind of ABC or some kind of icon next to it that says what type of field it is. Okay, that gives you an indication of आप इस field के साथ क्या कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. Now on your left hand side of the screen you can see what type of graphs are available. Okay. Now depending on the data type you will select, the graphs will automatically start showing up. Okay. Now, for this example, I'm going to drag and drop the field called customer, which is going to be my row. Okay. So I've brought the field. Sorry, it's going to be my row, not my column. So I brought the field from here and I've dragged and drop in the column section. Okay. Now, मेरे पास customer की detail आ गई है. Sorry, Aman. Aman, are you asking something or? Okay. So what I can do over here is I have number of name of the customers. Now I want to see कि मैंने इन customers के साथ कितनी sale करी है. Okay. जिसने मुझे sales की details दे दी है कि मैंने Aaron को $1,745 worth of stuff का सामान बेचा. Okay. अगर आप इसको थोड़ा different view में देखना चाहते हैं तो आप इसको column बना सकते हैं. Then it will be a graph. जैसे जैसे आप वैल्यू को मॉड्यूलेट करेंगे क्योंकि वहां पे डाटा अवेलेबल है, आपको यहाँ पे ग्राफ के ऑप्शंस बढ़ते जाएंगे. ठीक है. अगर मैंने देख रहा हूं आप यहाँ पे लोकेशन जो मैप वाला ग्राफ है वो विजिबल नहीं है. वो इसलिए विजिबल नहीं क्योंकि मैंने कोई भी लोकेशन वाली एंटिटी यूज नहीं करी. आई हैवंट यूज्ड एनी लोकेशन एंटिटी. ओके. सो नाउ दिस इज माय शीट 1. एनी क्वेश्चंस एनीवन? Otherwise I'm going to continue. Okay, so Abdullah, for your filters, it doesn't matter what type of graph it is. You can pick whatever fields over here you're selecting and you can go right click on that field. अगर आपको customer को filter बनाना है, you can go right click on the field and you can go filter. Show filter. What that does is it will automatically create a filter for you that is called customer names. Okay. So now because there's a lot of customer names and your cloud, it takes a bit of time to do that. So see, there's all filters now available on the side. that you can use to filter the data. If you want to increase the filter, so I'm going to remove this filter. I am going to drop a filter called quantity. As soon as I dropped a value that is some kind of aggregate or something, then it gives me an option of मुझे वो quantity, how do I want to use that quantity as a filter? I want all values. I want to do a sum. I want to do an average, median stuff. I want all the values. I think there's any value in quantity over there. Okay, let's try a different one. Let's try location. As soon as I connected the region in the row and I made it a filter, it started giving me the filter in the region as well. Now you don't want a filter here, but you still want to filter the data. Okay. The scenario is Abdullah wants me to look at this report, but he only wants me to see the data for certain location, for example. Okay. So what I can do is I'll remove the region. I'll keep that in the filter. And what I will do is Abdullah only wants me to say, see the central region. Okay. So he can apply that. And once he applies that, see how the data changed. Because now Abdullah has filtered this so that I can only see central region. Now if say Abdullah wants me to see another region, he can include that in the region, south, and remove central. Now you will notice over here, once I remove the region, I can still apply filters just directly to the report. I don't have to show the filters here. Location. Okay. Puts it in central. Apply. As I said, the data automatically filters. Is the screen big enough for everybody to see? If I zoom in more, then I would not be able to move things around. Please show thumbs up. The screen is visible to everybody. Okay. Now, once I'm a sheet one, I'm going to call it graphs. And Abdullah, does the filter make sense now? Abdullah, sorry, can you unmute your mic? And you said no, sir. What's that no? You can't see, or the filter does not make any sense? Okay, I'm going to continue. Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, Abdullah. So it makes sense. Okay, so I made my graph. I'm going to create, so at the bottom, if you can see the icons, you will get few options. One is your dashboard. The another one is called your worksheet. So I'm going to create one more worksheet, and let's call that worksheet table. So first we created a graph. Now we're going to create a table. So to create a table, we're going to use the fields by customer. So I have a row called customer. I want to see the sales that I have made to that customer. Okay, I have to zoom out a little bit so I can drag drop the fields. Okay, so now I can see the sales as well. I want to see the discount that I gave it to them. So I'm going to see the sales versus discount. Let's see what graphs are available to us. So I have a table that's available. I have pie chart. So I'm going to move this into a table. So Aaron, 0 discount given, and the sales made is 886. So that's my table now. And I can keep dropping more options in there. So if I want to see what products that I've sold to Aaron, I will drop the category in there and let's see what we get. So to Aaron, I have sold furniture. The sales has been that count, office supplies, that count, technology, that's count, and I haven't given them a discount. So now I'm going to save this as, I've saved this as table. I'm going to create another one called maps. Okay. Now for maps, always remember for maps you need coordinates. Okay. आप जब Google Map use करते हैं तो आप उसको एक address देते हैं, then only it can take you from point A to point B. So we're going to do the same thing over here. We have column called location, which has region, country, state, city, and postcode. So let's start with the country. So because because it's aware that I am using a map location which has coordinates, as soon as I dropped it, see, it's only giving me 2 options because it already is aware that I need a map to use that. Okay. Now I want to go further down. So what I will do is I will also drop in countries. I will drop state. Now you can see it's showing me country and state. Okay. Now I want to go further down. So I'm going to keep extending it because there's a relationship already between region, state, and country. So now it started giving me the locations for by the city. Okay. So I've saved this one as well. Now I'm going to create a dashboard. In the same area where we were creating worksheet, there's an option called dashboard. Once my dashboard is ready, the sheets that I have created would start appearing over here. You can increase the size and the width of this playing field, which says add sheet here. You can increase and decrease it. I'm going to start dragging and dropping things over here. So I'm going to start with my graph. So it has already attached itself to it. Then I'm going to drop my graph. See how it automatically fit itself over there. Now I'm going to drop my table here. And automatic. Okay. You can also have fields which are calculative fields. So over here, it gives you the option of adding and removing show grid, show, like you can have more options to add data over here of different types. You can add labels on your reports. You can change colors and stuff. You can add more details in there. So there's a lot of things to play over there. Okay. Now, once your dashboard is ready, over here on the page, you can publish your dashboard. And you can pick the location where your dashboard is going to go. I'm going to use Prezo project. And I'm going to go sheet as tables, embed data source. I'm going to name it as now I'm going to publish it. And there's my report. So as you can see, there's a lot of area to play with. I can keep adding more data over here. Let me zoom in. So you can keep adding more tables, more data and stuff. And the good thing about this is, okay, look at this. So Tableau gives you the functionality of auto filtering the data as well. So if I click something on this report, because the data comes from, there's a relationship in the data, I will automatically start seeing the filter work throughout the report. Now, I want to show you two places where you can get the data to start playing with these products. One is Kaggle. So Kaggle over here, Kaggle.com is a free source of a lot of data. Remember, to play with these tools, you need to have some kind of dummy data. Okay. And from Kaggle, you can download. There's so much different dummy data posted over here, which you can go and extract data out of it, download CSV, which you can use to play with tools like Kaggle, Power BI, and stuff. Any questions? Okay, everybody's gone quiet. Is the screen gone? Okay, so there are a few questions here. So one question somebody asked was, can Tableau be used to analyze quantitative data? Yes, you can, but I would not recommend analyzing the data in Tableau. So it's always a good idea to analyze or clean up the data at least in the data source, then bring your data into products like Tableau and Power BI to visualize the data. Because one big, especially if you're using Tableau online, remember, like every device, there's a limited RAM on, so your computer might have a limited RAM, right? That means the more data or more things that you got open, the slower it gets. So it's always recommended clean up the data in your data source so that you're bringing the data that you need for analysis and reporting, not everything in. In the start, it might not be a problem because if it's quantitative data, uh, then it will start making the report process slow. Does that make sense, Amna? Quite well. Uh, okay. Next question. What is the difference between Power BI and Tableau? What is the difference between Power BI and Tableau? Kindly enlarge your screen for clear visibility. We did that. So the difference between Power BI and Tableau, not too much. Uh, it's Power BI comes across as more user friendly for a lot of people that have said that they've used Power BI. Power BI also is getting bigger compared to Tableau for one and only reason, because everybody who is not using Google as the workspace solution, they're using Microsoft. So being in Microsoft, Power BI is like a plugin. So it becomes easy when you're already in Microsoft. Uh, Users prefer that we are already in Microsoft. Why don't we use the product that is easier for our users to learn? Okay. Now, another reason, the difference in Power BI and Tableau is uh, a lot of companies who are using Microsoft, they prefer to bring their Dynamics data, Azure data, SharePoint data, SQL data to Power BI. And it also at the same time gives you the functionality of connecting other products that are not part of Microsoft. But on Tableau, it's not that straightforward to connect Microsoft product, but you can connect a lot of other products. Does that make sense? Who asked that question? Piyush and Gitanjali. Gitanjali and Piyush, would love to hear from you. Okay, I'll continue. Power BI and Tableau, from a performance point of view, Power BI is, so the out of the box product is perfect for medium to small side data sets. Tableau optimizes the larger data sets and complex visualization. In saying that, you can still do that in Power BI, but then you have to be on Power BI Pro and further up licenses, which is kind of gets it expensive. Tableau, being one of the old products in this Power BI, or sorry, reporting market, they are constantly coming up with better charts, dashboards, and they're getting more granular. Power BI comparatively still a little bit behind, and then you have to go to marketplace to buy those visualizations as well. Tableau still lacks a little bit behind in AI capabilities. Power BI is way ahead in AI capabilities, especially with now the Copilot, which is the AI tool for Microsoft, being available, which can integrate with Power BI. It gives user better interface to absorb data. I can ask questions directly in Power BI using AI. It will prompt me the stats and analytics that I need as a user rather than going through the whole report. Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, that's about it. Any other questions?
So, can you just repeat the steps for the dashboard?
Okay. You can let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay. So we have created the sheets. Okay. We have 3 sheets over here, which is called graph, table, and maps. Okay. Okay, Abdullah, I'll cover the donut chart as well. Okay, why don't we create a donut chart and then I'll come back to this as well so I can show you how you would connect that as well. So at the bottom, you get options of what you want to create. There's a new worksheet, there's a dashboard, and there's a story. We're not covering the story because we need more qualitative data to cover the story. So I'm going to go and I'm going to create a new worksheet and I'm going to call it donut. If there is donut available in the free version. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to go with regional manager. And people count. Okay, let's see what's available. I don't think donut might not be available for this one, but let's see. There you go. And here, for this one, I don't have a donut chart. I have a density that see. Sorry, Abdullah. On the free version, the donut chart is not available. You can find more extensions and you can add it from there. Okay, coming back to the dashboard. So I have my dashboard ready. I've created my sheets over here. So again, whoever asked that question, I can go in here and I can add as many dashboards I want. So I've created a new, which looks like this. I've come over here and based on how I want to align my data. So I'm going to start dragging and dropping the values on this empty field sheet. So let's do this. Okay, I've added that. I want to add map, say next to it. I want the table underneath it. You can see the table's been added. And I want to add a graph on top of this. Then my dashboard looks something like this. Right? You can adjust the width, you can adjust the length and stuff the way you want it. If you want to fit more stuff in there, then you can add more. And once you're ready, you're happy with your dashboard, you come over here, you publish. Now, because I've already published mine before, it's automatically going to be saved, but you can do a publish as. You can pick where you want to save it. You will name this demo2 and you can publish that. And once it's ready, It will be on your dashboard. And you can just open it. There you go. That's your dashboard. And then you can keep adding more graphs that you want. You can adjust the height, width, and stuff like that. Does that help with the question the person who had with uh, regarding the dashboard? Richie, Simone, I think that was your question. Does the dashboard is clear now? Does it make sense? Thumbs up or reply would be perfect. Okay, perfect. Any other questions? Okay, how many of you have used some kind of Power BI or Tableau and stuff like that? Okay. Perfect. Now, one thing that I always had an issue with when I was learning Power BI and Tableau was in learning, you need some kind of dummy data, right? And that some kind of dummy data, what I recommend is there are two ways to do it. क्योंकि आप जितना टेस्ट करोगे ना डाटा को, there would be different scenarios that will come. So what I do is I use two things. One is Kaggle, the one that I showed you guys earlier. It has every kind of research topic and stuff. Like there's a lot of data sets that you can find over there. Okay. The other one is, I'm pretty sure everybody has used ChatGPT in this room or in this thing. Okay, so let me show my screen again. So I'm assuming a lot of you guys are some kind of research students. In Kaggle, you can go and search for the topic you need the dummy data for. Okay. Once you search that dummy data, say for example, I was building a report on fraud detection. It gives me the list of all the data that people have created for people like us to go download in whatever format that we want. You can download that in CSV, you can download that in Excel, and then you can use that in your yep, there you go. TSV files and stuff. You can use that in your reports to play with it, test it, and stuff like that. Okay. There's data sets. I want all data sets. I can pick mobile device usage and behavior, user behavior. Here's the dummy data. So what this does, it saves you time to create the dummy data. You basically have something to play with. Okay. The other thing that I do is, which I actually like a lot, is this. Bear with me. That screen gone. So if you guys are a research student, you can give it to ChatGPT or Claude AI, whatever you guys are using. And then you can give it the scenario. Okay, my research is based on this topic. I need to create a dummy data table and stuff like that, and it will create a table for you. You can copy paste it, you can download it, and then you just have to connect to your Power BI or your Tableau or Cognos, whatever you use. Okay. Last 5 minutes to ask questions before we call it a day. Come on, guys, ask questions. Yeah.
Participants, you can unmute yourself and ask your queries, or either you can put your queries in the chat box.
Okay. I hope everybody liked the session. And if you guys have any further questions, you guys can connect with me and Shraddha via LinkedIn. And we always keep publishing stuff about systems, AI, what's new, and stuff like that. And it would be lovely to connect with you. You can drop a message over there. Here are our links. Feel free to connect. Love to hear some questions when you guys start testing these things. Yeah, that's about it from my side, guys. And yeah, I hope you guys start using the product, and it's really good. I have a feeling Abdullah is going to ask me more questions on LinkedIn. But yeah, now feel free to ask questions. Shraddha and I are both available. I'm usually quick at responding back. It was a good session. I would request you guys ask questions because it's very important, especially most of you guys are college students. You should ask questions. Okay. Well, on that note, anything else from Shraddha? Anything you want to add on? Gitanjali ma'am, anything from your side?
Yeah, just a second, sir. Dear participants, the feedback come attendance link has already been shared in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback at the earliest.
Are we?
Feedback
Gitanjali
link has
ma'am,
already been shared on YouTube live chat box and here on Google Meet chat box. It won't be shared on your WhatsApp group. So kindly fill the feedback. Yes, sir. You were saying something.
oh, no, I was just saying, are we waiting for are we getting the feedback right now?
No. Just a second, sir. Okay. So we have finished the session. So I would like to call Laila ma'am, Dr. Laila Simon, to propose the official
Yes,
vote.
I'm
Laila ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Hope I'm audible to everyone. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Thank you so much. As we conclude our this insightful session on Tableau, I would like to take a moment to express a heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Rishi Dubey for sharing his expertise and knowledge, this vast knowledge with us today. The comprehensive insights into this data visualization and the practical demonstrations have truly enriched our understanding of Tableau. I would also take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to Shraddha, who is a alumni of our college, and it was I was just searching for a person or a research person for Tableau, and then she said, "Ma'am, don't worry, I'll take this up." So thank you so much, Shraddha, if you are there hearing me.
Yes.
That was such a nice gesture. Yeah, it was staying connected to your alma mater, right? And to all the participants, thank you for your enthusiasm and active engagement, and your questions and discussions added more value to this session, making it more collaborative learning experience. Lastly, I also appreciate each one who had taken time in here for today. We also hope that the session was very informative and it added on to whatever was the quest for your knowledge you were looking forward. And thank you once again. And Gitanjali, once again, thank you for taking it up from your end and coordinating and doing all the needful, that was to be done in the whole of this session. Thank you so much, Gitanjali,
Just
and the whole
Thank you,
team.
ma'am. Thank
Yes.
you so much. It's
Rishi, you have
so
just
something to say, right?
now, just saying, Laila ma'am and Gitanjali ma'am, thanks for the opportunity. I hope
Yeah.
it's first of many because Shraddha and I
Yes.
cover a lot of topics, and
Right.
everybody on the call, I would highly recommend utilizing AI tools for your
Sure.
data visualization products because it's out there. Use it. Most of them are free. Ask
Yes.
questions from it. And yep,
Yes.
Shraddha and I are available. As I said, I always love helping out students. So please do drop messages
Sure.
of any questions and stuff. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, the beginning itself was such a nice gesture that Shraddha said, "Don't worry, ma'am, I'll see to it happening." And it did happen in such a nice way. And I actually did not feel any like flaw or, like Gitanjali, and I think they were coordinating it so well. Till the end, I did not come to know about any hazards that might have happened in the entire process. So thank you so
Well,
much,
that's,
participants,
Thank
and
you,
thank you
ma'am.
once again, Rishi,
thank
and
you.
thank you, Shraddha, once again. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Okay.
you guys. Have a good night,
Thanks,
everybody. I
Nikita.
mean,
Yeah.
it's night for me,
Good
but good day
evening.
for you guys. So
Yeah, sir, and on the screen, the responses, I'm sure that's the best feedback you may be getting right now. You can see all those emojis coming up.
well, we will have another session tomorrow. We'll talk
Sure,
about something if the response is the
sure,
same.
sure, sure. Yeah,
Understanding,
looking for
understand.
more collaborations in the
Okay,
future.
once again, everybody, thanks a lot. Love the opportunity, and hopefully, I'll see you guys in future.
Yeah,
Good
same
night.
here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Shraddha ma'am. Thank you, dear participants.
Thank you so much.
Kindly fill
Yeah.
the feedback. Yes, Shraddha ma'am. Thank you so much. Dear participants, I request you all to please fill the feedback form at the earliest as we are not going to share this feedback in the WhatsApp group. It will be remain here in the chat box of YouTube Live and Google Meet. So kindly fill the
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah. And Gitanjali, we can wait for another 5 or 10 minutes to,
Yes, sure, ma'am.
end the meet so that the chat remains there. And you can even want, if you're with somebody who might have left, they may not, you
Yep.
can pin up that link so that that remains there. So in
Sure,
the
ma'am.
5 to 10 minutes, we wait for the feedback and then we'll end up the session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Lala ma'am. Thank you for your all guidance and support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much.
Yes, so